The blizzard hit Montana like a freight train at midnight, turning Highway 89 into a ribbon of ice and despair. Jake Morrison pulled his black pickup truck over when he saw the broken-down Honda Civic on the shoulder, its hazard lights blinking weakly through the swirling snow. Two young women huddled inside the car, their breath visible in white puffs. Jake knocked on the window, his cowboy hat dusted with snow. The driver rolled down her window just a crack. "You ladies need help?" Jake asked, his voice warm despite the bitter cold. The driver, a redhead with tired eyes, nodded. "Our car died about an hour ago. We're trying to get home from our shift at Murphy's Diner." Jake noticed their thin uniforms and worried faces. "I'm Jake Morrison. My ranch is just 5 miles up the road. You can't stay out here in this weather." The two waitresses, Sarah and Emma, exchanged uncertain glances. They'd heard warnings about trusting strangers, but the temperature was dropping fast, and their phones had no signal. "Please," Jake said, seeing their hesitation. "I have a wife and daughters. You're not safe here." What happened next would change all their lives forever. At the Morrison Ranch, Jake's wife Maria welcomed the shivering women with hot coffee and warm blankets. As Sarah and Emma thawed out by the fireplace, they learned that Jake wasn't just any rancher. He was the Jake Morrison, the tech entrepreneur who'd sold his software company for hundreds of millions before returning to his family's Montana ranch. But Jake was more interested in their story than talking about himself. He learned that Sarah was working 3 jobs to pay for her sick mother's medical bills, while Emma was saving every penny to finish nursing school after her father abandoned the family. "How much do you make at the diner?" Jake asked quietly. "About $400 a week with tips," Sarah said, embarrassed. "It's not much, but..." Jake held up his hand. "What if I told you I've been looking for people to help run a special project?" Over the next hour, Jake explained his vision. He wanted to open a chain of high-end diners across Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. Places that celebrated local culture while providing living wages to workers. He'd been searching for people who understood both the restaurant business and the struggles of working families. "I don't want partners who learned about hospitality in business school," Jake said. "I want people who've lived it, who know what it means to smile when your feet hurt and your bank account is empty." Sarah and Emma stared at him in disbelief. "I'm offering you both positions as regional managers," Jake continued. "Starting salary is $75,000 a year, plus profit sharing, plus I'll pay for Emma's nursing school and Sarah's mother's medical treatments." Emma started crying. Sarah couldn't speak. "But why?" Sarah finally whispered. "You don't even know us." Jake smiled. "My grandfather always told me that character shows up in the cold. You two could have panicked tonight, could have made poor decisions. Instead you stayed calm and helped each other. That's the kind of people I want to build something with." The business, Prairie Pride Diners, launched 8 months later. Sarah became the operations director, revolutionizing staff training and customer service. Emma finished nursing school and created an employee wellness program that became a model for restaurants nationwide. Within 2 years, they had 12 locations and were named one of the best employers in the Mountain West. Sarah's mother received the treatment she needed and made a full recovery. Emma opened a small medical clinic for restaurant workers who couldn't afford health care. But the most shocking part came on the 2nd anniversary of that snowy night. Sarah and Emma had saved enough money to buy a 10% stake in the company, making them millionaires themselves. At the anniversary celebration, Sarah stood up to give a toast. 2 years ago, we were 2 broke waitresses whose car broke down in a blizzard, she said, her voice strong. Tonight, we're business partners, homeowners, and proof that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is give people a real chance to succeed. Jake raised his glass. Here's to broken down cars and second chances. As the crowd cheered, Emma whispered to Sarah, "Who would have thought that the worst night of our lives would turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to us?" Outside, snow began to fall again on the Montana plains, but inside Prairie Pride Diner No. 1, the warmth of possibility filled every corner. Sometimes the most shocking thing about kindness is how it multiplies when you're not expecting it. The three partners went on to expand across 15 states, creating over 2,000 jobs and establishing a foundation that helps working families during emergencies. And it all started with a cowboy who stopped to help two freezing waitresses on the coldest night of the year.